First of all, I just want to say I'm super excited to be calling that fight. I can't make a prediction, but I mean, Max Holloway and Yair is a just insane main event. And I think that if Max does win, I think that he is justified, even though we don't normally see that, especially when you've lost twice. Michael, you were talking about this earlier when we were discussing this, but I think considering how close these fights have been, especially that second one where a lot of people thought that Max won that fight, I think that justifies, especially after that Cater performance. If he can go out and do something like that to Yair, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if he can and does, give that man a friggin' title shot, or give him one of these other big fights. Give him a Connor. Give him one of these things. Max is saying basically, I got options right now.
Yeah, and not to mention he has a win over Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, exactly.
So Charles Oliveira goes out and beats, Dustin Poirier. There's a big storyline there as well. Look, we all know how great Max is, and sometimes I feel like Yair Rodriguez gets forgotten about because of his inactivity. I mean, this is a guy that sometimes has a struggle getting through a camp. And with his style, I can see why this guy maybe has some complications health wise getting 2 fights, because when you have a dynamic style of fighting and you're doing those dynamic moves in the gym, who knows what kind of little injuries you're acquiring along the line. So this is a good fight for both men. I think that for Max, this is going to be a big test, because if you saw in the Cater fight, Max really relied on the head movement, the slipping, the pulling, a lot of defensive tactics, and he still took a few shots from Cater. And we saw, if you go back in time to that awesome one of my favorite Paul Felder moments of you in the commentary booth was the Chang Sung Jung versus Yair Rodriguez fight. Yair showed that he can knock you out at any point in a fight, even if there is 1 second left. In a grueling 25-minute fist fight, he can knock you out. So a tough fight for both guys. And my prediction is, this one's tough. This one's hard for me to call. But I got to go Max Holloway. I just think he's that good. I think that Max is literally still to this day, even though he's not a champion right now, he doesn't have a belt around his waist, I still think he's in the top 10 as one of the pound for pound greats in the sport currently at this time.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, round 5. Last one. Keeping it with Max Holloway. Pretty heated. Talking about fighters staying on the elevator, waiting in the elevator. Do you guys agree with those comments? And are you equally as heated?
Max was saying he's sick of guys being inactivity and guys waiting on the elevator to try to get to the top. I think it's a terrible move. I think inactivity, I think waiting for fights is a bad thing. It's like what Dana's situation is with Carla. He doesn't like when she says she wants to wait for the title fight. I'm in that situation right now, Paul, where a lot of people are like, why are you fighting number 13 or 14th ranked Sean Brady? Why? Because I want to fight, because I want to be a champion, because I know that waiting around for the right fights isn't the thing to do. And sometimes you get stuck there without a choice. Sometimes you get high up in the rankings and you have no choice but to sit there and wait. So I agree. Get out there and fight. Get out there and take chances, take risks. You got to give these guys their shot, but know in the back of your mind, you're going to beat them. It's like, hey, I'm going to give this guy a shot, but I'm going to go out there and beat him because it's going to look good on your part. And it can go both ways. So I think that, guys, activity is the way to go. If you're healthy and you feel good and you have no injuries, get out there and fight, because who knows if when time goes on, when you get old and your time passes in the sport, you're going to say, man, I wish I would have fought more. I wish I would have, look at all that time that passed that I didn't fight when I could have.
Yeah.
So I think it's best for guys, get off the elevator, start fighting.
Take the stairs, as Max would say.
Take the stairs.
Take the long way. It makes you stronger, right? You take those stairs, you go up them steps, you're stronger on the other side.